Before we get started, I'd like to introduce you to our sponsor, Microgaming's first scratch card and instant win product, WinTingo. Since WinTingo is a fresh new scratch card program, the opportunity for player acquisitions is huge. Cap fully endorses WinTingo, and here are the top 5 reasons why you should join WinTingo today. The program is backed by an experienced and trusted management team. They have exceptional financial backing and collectively more than 15 years experience in the iGaming industry. WinTingo has by far the best player promotions in the scratch card vertical, such as offering a €100 no deposit bonus. WinTingo also targets very lucrative markets, so if you have traffic in the UK, Australia, Canada, Netherlands, Spain, Sweden, or Germany, WinTingo will be a high converter for you. WinTingo works with affiliates on RevShare, CPA, or CPL opportunities, and only with CAP you can cash in on an exclusive offer to receive a 40% RevShare during your first month of promotion. The scratch card vertical is growing tremendously in this space, and WinTingo is the perfect opportunity to get in on some major earning potential. Visit the CAP directory and join WinTingo today.
I'm Warren Jolly with CasinoAffiliatePrograms.com, and I want to welcome you to today's interview with Herb Jenkins, the CMO at 4Cubed and Poker Affiliate Solutions, a diverse poker affiliate marketing and web development company. Herb became an affiliate in 2003 following a lifelong passion for poker and getting involved with the 2+2 community, which many of you know about. Now Herb runs all marketing for PAS. In our interview today, we'll learn more about the tremendous poker business Herb built with the founder of PAS, Chris Carlson. Herb, thanks for joining us. Please take a quick moment and tell our audience about the history of 4Cube and the different areas your company is involved in today.
Sure thing. Well, thanks for having me, and I appreciate being here. But yeah, 4Cube got its start in 2004, and really we started as poker players. And so it was basically something that we already had interest in from a player side that transitioned into an affiliate business and then has diversified since beyond that. But our start really got in what we now call social media. I mean, we really didn't call it that at the time. It was more getting involved in the forums and the community. And from there, we started building relationships with players. And so that kind of was, that was how we really kind of got our start in the business. It was from getting that feedback that we decided to build our first website, which was ratetracker.com. And RateTracker was the first rateback website. And it really was built for players like us. We built it as something that we wanted and something that we believed in. And so that's kind of, RateTracker, it took off really quick and got us going in the affiliate business, at a pretty good clip. So that happened in 2004. And the next year, we launched a site called Your Poker Cash. And that one, with Your Poker Cash, we really wanted to take a different focus and focus on a different player market. Because the rakeback industry, it's relatively a small part of the industry. It focuses on a very specific type of player, and we wanted to really look at a more recreational player, meeting their sort of needs, still taking it as something that we wanted to be a part of, that we would take if we were a player. And so as Your Poker Cash developed, the bankroll model, basically a free starter bankroll for, if you signed up at a room through us, then that was kind of our segue into that more recreational player market. So, we got basically our start with 2 B2C sites, and we still own and operate them today, still very successful. And so, in looking to expand and diversify, it kind of led us in 2007 to create Poker Affiliate Solutions, which is now our flagship site. And Poker Affiliate Solutions is an affiliate network, and it really came from in seeing the industry develop and seeing competitors pop up and seeing a general affiliate interest. People wanted to be rakeback affiliates specifically, but the barrier to entry there was really pretty high. You had to build a lot of systems, a lot of payment processes, and it was really, it was a pretty big undertaking at the time for your general affiliate. And so we saw a need, and we had the systems and capabilities to handle it, so we made basically the RateTracker engine more scalable, and that's how we kind of developed Poker Affiliate Solutions. So PAS has been around since 2007, and we grew it for a few years, really starting with rakeback, but expanded it to CPA, RevShare, and bankrolls. So we really tried to really encompass the spectrum of offers for poker affiliates. And in 2010, we acquired a web design and development company called Page 10, and this was really more of it was more to diversify, but also to increase our skill set in what we already did. And so by acquiring a team that really applied these skills to other industries and then applying them to poker, we found that greatly increased our skill set in the poker industry as well. So that's kind of a history of the company and the main brands that we developed over time. Now, in terms of today, we're still actively involved in the B2C websites, Rate Tracker and Your Poker Cash, and we just have a strong B2B focus now as well with both PAS and Page 10.
Great. Okay, so PAS is your flagship property, as you mentioned. How does it differ from any other typical poker affiliate network? I mean, there's guys out there like Poker Affiliate World and others. What is so special and unique about PAS?
Yeah. When looking at any affiliate network, you kind of have to break it down into its components. You typically have three levels. You've got your advertisers, your publishers, and your end users, whether they be members or players or whatever you want to call them. And an affiliate network can offer products, services, and offers to each one of those entities. And so really what sets PAS apart is that most affiliate networks focus on the publisher offers. What can an affiliate sign up for at the affiliate network and get right away to start promoting? And that's how you monetize. It's going to be a big focus for any affiliate network. But what really distinguishes us is that we focus on publisher services, marketing services specifically, web design and development services for publishers. We really expand much more beyond the offer itself because we recognize that in terms of need, affiliates do need some assistance or usually want some assistance in being able to market to their players better. So we kind of carved out ourselves as a real strong service provider, but also with the white label network that we have for rakeback websites, we have a pretty strong focus on the member as well. And so it's an interesting dynamic for an affiliate network where we're actually, the publishers we work with are relying on us to service their members. And so we really feel like that relationship, being a relationship-based company is incredibly important to us. And it's kind of why we've embraced it. We could just say, well, here's the offers, go promote them, do what you will with them. But we've really decided to take a more hands-on approach with, kind of nurturing publishers and their players to be more successful overall. And it's been a really strong model for us so far.
Okay. And do you do anything special for your advertisers as well? Do you help them, control fraud? Is there anything that you do that a standard network doesn't offer?
Yeah, definitely. And the fraud prevention, it's really heavy on the CPA side and
right.
the bankroll side. That's a very strong component there for us. But in terms of what we're looking at in 2012, it's really building out that advertiser focus more because we have great relationships with our advertisers. It's one of my favorite things about the industry is the relationships we've built with the affiliate managers themselves and beyond. So, but we're really looking to take the relationship to the next level to start offering them services directly, marketing services in various capacities, but also to build out another section in the PAS engine to cater to them because they want to see how their different offers are performing in the network. And we have the data, and we're just making it so that we can really kind of service them like we already service our publishers. And so, this is really a pretty aggressive growth strategy for us. It's not like anything that is currently in the poker affiliate industry, but we've got the capability and the desire, so it's going to happen.
Great. Okay. So how many depositors do you generate per month for poker rooms and for your advertisers? And what percentage of those depositors are U.S. Based versus non-U.S.?
Yep. So for, across all of our different brands and products, I'd say, these days we're looking at maybe 5,500 to 6,000 new depositors per month. And so, it's a pretty healthy number. And to be honest with you, in terms of U.S. and non-U.S., these days we're looking at about 95% non-U.S.
Wow.
And so really heavily weighted there. And, some product lines, we haven't had any U.S. really player base to speak of for some time. But, back in 2007, it was probably about the reverse of that, maybe 90-10 U.S. or 80-20 really heavily weighted U.S. And that was part of what kind of drove the decision to create the affiliate network, in general, was we wanted to diversify globally, not just with different products, but different markets, and to be really, working closely with different types of affiliates from all over the world. And we really identified the affiliate network as a great way to do that, and have embraced it ever since.
Great. Okay. And what percentage of overall that from that 5,500 to 6,000 depositors a month, what percentage comes from the affiliate network versus your own internal sites like Rate Tracker and others?
These days, it's about 40%, and for the affiliate network in terms of the new traffic. So, pretty even balance there. The brands that we have, they've been around now for 6-7 years, and so they have an established reputation, and there's a lot. That engine is running pretty well. But the affiliate network, it is growing at a faster clip than the retail brands. But that's mostly just because the exposure you get to an affiliate network is just much different than what you could experience on any given website.
Okay, but you're still driving 3,000 plus depositors a month from your own internal traffic generation mechanisms. That's definitely a lot. Being in the poker space. So how do you drive that volume? I know you have multiple properties, but what are the sort of the methods that you guys deploy? What are the things that you're doing to generate that level of traffic and conversions? Well,
if it was just, it's pretty near impossible to generate that sort of volume on just rakeback. The exposure of rakeback is just, it could not really drive that much unless there's just some sort of perfect storm. So it really requires a combination of all those different offer types, mixing in CPA and rev share and bankroll offers to really kind of maximize and convert the traffic that you have coming to the site. And so while I talk about Rate Tracker being a rakeback site and Your Poker Cash being a bankroll site, they're not just that. We look at, for I guess about the last year, we really geo-targeted our traffic, and then once we had the ability to dynamically display our offers to different members from different countries, then it was really about, okay, now how can we best convert members from each country? And so that's kind of how we've been able to get that number up to where it is right now is whereas let's say on Your Poker Cash, if we don't have any bankroll offers that appeal to Russian players, then what other offers can we promote to them to still have them sign up for something that's still valuable to them? And so that sort of approach to geo-targeting and maximizing our conversions is what's allowed us to still be staying at that kind of number.
I see. And is it the traffic predominantly SEO, or is it a mix, a blend between different sources?
Yeah, SEO is definitely a component. We have pretty healthy affiliate programs on both of those retail properties as well. So it's kind of like little mini, PAS engines, so to speak, for each one. But and it's stronger on the bankroll side. We have a really strong affiliate program there. But it's a variety of different ones. We really try to leverage a pretty diversified marketing channel approach for each of the brands, so that if one starts diminishing, we've got another right there to take its place. And that's kind of the way we view most everything when it comes to offers or the services that we offer. Really trying to diversify beyond just one or two, so that we can sustain the volatility that you experience in this market.
Okay. A topic that we get asked about a lot in terms of conversions is email marketing. Have you guys found any success converting customers using email?
Most of our success is really found on the email marketing side. It's really more about reactivating the existing player base or using it as an engagement channel. There's anything from new product mailers to your standard newsletters to industry events happening in real time. That's primarily how we've leveraged email marketing. A lot, less so than hitting 1 million email addresses that we purchased from somewhere. So that's typically it's really more of a retention engagement channel for us, and we do rely on it very heavily in that regard. But we mix in. To be honest with you, we mixed it in on the acquisition side a few times before. But we found our efforts to be better placed in other marketing channels for ROI.
Got it. Okay. Now, On the affiliate network, why did you decide to make PAS an affiliate network and not just operate as a master affiliate where you referred, affiliates to poker rooms and earned an ongoing lifetime commission of their business? What made you decide to build the network straight away?
Well, I mean, we were kind of labeled as a super affiliate back at that time, and it was a conscious decision to go the affiliate network route. And really, what it boiled down to is we enjoy building and nurturing relationships with other affiliates. I mean, we are affiliates. We like seeing their brands grow and helping them grow and helping them monetize about as much as we like developing our own. And so, if we were just to be that more super affiliate that just kind of preferred the business, it was just less of a relationship, less of an engagement, and that appealed less to us. But I mean, we also do recognize that being able to manage an affiliate base, like we do, it does give us, it allows for more opportunities with the advertisers as well. And so, I mean, it was that plus the real desire to diversify globally, and the affiliate network being a really good fit from that regard, that really drove that decision.
Okay, and so you have a staff of affiliate managers or people that work directly with the affiliates?
Yeah, that's right. Okay. And that's something that initially, it was something that we just kind of did. It was just part of the everyday, but eventually we developed dedicated positions, and we've actually hired quite a bit within the industry, people that were affiliate managers at operators, and bringing them over to the dark side, so to speak.
Nice.
We've got some great affiliate managers in house, and that's been a good proven model for us because the learning curve to be a really good affiliate manager in poker is pretty steep, and having somebody who already has the industry experience is a huge plus for us.
Got it. Makes sense. So you acquired a web development company. What are your plans with that? Besides, I'm assuming you'll still service outside customers, but if someone's watching this interview and they're thinking, "Gosh, I really need a good web development firm," should they contact you guys? What's the plan with that piece of the business?
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely encourage them to contact us, and just engage in the dialogue to see, what the opportunities are, because really we had two primary purposes in the acquisition. I mean, it was to diversify revenues outside of gaming, and that was pretty straightforward. And out in that regard, we typically deal with companies, mid to large size companies here in the Twin Cities in Minneapolis, where we're located. But the other benefit, and this was basically the determining factor for us, was can this upgrade our skill set towards poker, towards gaming, and can we, increase our marketing services that we offer to the industry through this acquisition? And that was a definite yes. And so, in bringing that staff in house, I mean, it was an immediate upgrade, and it's allowed us to start offering marketing services to our publishers. And we expanded more of our free services, but we also offer fee-based services, really where you have a specific marketing campaign, whether it be email marketing, SEO, even just web design or development, content. Pretty much any marketing service. We now have basically a much stronger capability with several years in the traditional space.
Okay.
Makes sense. One of the great benefits there is we have those resources that can deliver and can deliver strongly, but we also have the domain-specific knowledge on the poker side, and so that's what's made it really great from a poker side is we can talk to gaming companies and really understand the needs of their business almost from the first conversation. There's really not too much of a learning curve there, and then we can take our knowledge and apply it with our capability and really turn something around that's pretty special.
Okay. So on that note, I mean, your company's seen tremendous growth. I know 4Cubed was an Inc. 500 or 5,000 company, as were we. So congratulations. What were the decisions that you had to make as a business to achieve that amount of growth, and what were the mistakes that you felt the company was successfully able to avoid?
Yeah. So in terms of the decisions that we made, there are a pretty large number that I could draw from, but one of the ones that I would say about 3 years ago, we spent a lot of time really developing the core structure of the company. Developing out the vision, the mission, developing out, all the mechanisms, organizational charts, marketing plans, annual plans, business plans, all that sort of thing to really ensure the long-term health of the company. And so we took it from something that was basically like a really cool, fun startup to something that had legs long-term. And we keep the things that are really special about this place, but also made it something that could sustain itself beyond any certain trends in the market. And so that, from an internal perspective, was a huge development for us. But in terms of I guess more market-specific decisions that we've made, I think that being willing and able to diversify, and that's, it's easy to say let's diversify into this market or that one, but to see it through, to be dedicated to it long term, that's been one of the cornerstones of our success. But also it's really the transparency and close relationship with the advertisers that's been really strong for us over time. And really we approach every relationship as a long-term partnership. So in doing that, it creates a certain dialogue, it creates a certain trust level, and it really, in some cases, you sacrifice some short-term dollars for some long-term gains, and that's served us very well over time too. Now, in terms of mistakes, I would say the biggest mistake that I see in a lot of cases is, the sky is falling, latest bad news means it's the end of the world sort of mentality that you see pretty commonly throughout the forums. Taking a very, calm and collected approach to the changes in the industry and then being able to basically break it down and say, what are our opportunities here? And being able to then capitalize on those opportunities. Getting too caught up in a moment in gaming can basically, send you over a cliff. But if you keep a level head with it and you stay focused with your strategy and being able to implement, the plan you put in place, then, that's basically what served us well to date.
Okay. And speaking of opportunities, where are the opportunities today in online poker? Just taking into consideration what's happened in the U.S. market on Black Friday, what could potentially happen, and also what are you instructing your affiliates to do regarding those potential opportunities in the future, not knowing when regulation could come?
Yeah. So, one of the biggest opportunities I do think is regulation and really regulated markets in general, not just U.S., but I do think that, there are already a handful of regulated markets and there will continue to be more. That is going to be the way things trend. And so preparing yourself for that, being able to thrive in that space versus the current space is something that we're working pretty closely with our publishers on right now, and even what we're developing in ourselves. Developing relationships in a regulated market it's different. There are different considerations. And different companies of size and professionalism, there's just a lot of different aspects there. But, kind of speaking more granularly, I do think there's a lot of opportunity for, domain pickups, anytime when there's instability like there is right now. And I'd say, with some of the biggest players in the industry taking the huge hits that they have, it's basically, a down market for poker right now. If you look at it in long term in the big picture. So, picking up domains, picking up business is a great thing for us to focus on. Now, it does take resources and capital, and so, but that's something that I would say is definitely an opportunity. But, I do think that in terms of preparing yourself for regulation, one of the biggest things you can do is really focus on the e-commerce model and best practices. And that's something that it doesn't really get discussed very much, at least in the industry. It doesn't get brought up to us. We usually are prompting the conversation to really say, this is what is the poker industry. And that domain knowledge is very valuable because there's a lot to know here. But, are you implementing the best practices to make sure that you're achieving success? And things like web analytics and data, being able to, for starters, implement those tools and to then use them ongoing to measure and engage your successes, and then to be able to take the appropriate actions to optimize your results. This sort of thing usually doesn't happen for most of our publishers organically. They take it to a certain point, but you really have to hammer home the importance of it and it being part of your everyday life being a data-driven decision-making process to really thrive, in regulated markets long term. I do think that is incredibly important.
Okay, so just elaborate a bit on the data-driven decision making. I mean, what tools and resources do you employ on your end to just make the best decisions on data? I mean, obviously there's the basic tools like Google Analytics and such, but is there anything special and unique that your business utilizes to make sure that whether it's advertisers you promote or marketing you're doing, that it's more dependent on actual data and results?
Yeah. So when we look at data, we basically look at it in two ways. I mean, kind of oversimplifying here a little bit, but really looking at broad trends, general widespread information, either about the industry through white papers or even from the internet as a whole. Keeping track through whether it be Forrester or eMarketer. I mean, there's quite a few reputable resources out there that you can use to kind of get your finger on the pulse of how, from a big picture, things are trending. And I mean, that's very important. But really, I think what you're speaking to here is the tools and data that you need on a per marketing channel basis. I mean, looking at basically your marketing channels are how you're going to get your traffic to the site. And then once you get them on the site, how are you going to maximize your conversions? And so, really email marketing, SEO, social media, your website itself. I mean, it's very important to identify the channels and then say, am I getting data for each of these, for starters? I mean, does my email client provide me with the necessary analytics that I need? If not, maybe I should be looking elsewhere. Just taking an inventory for starters is a good place to start. But in terms of specific tools, we generally steer people towards the free available tools like analytics and webmaster tools. I mean, that covers the majority of what people need. Now, on the page side, a lot of times we're working with bigger companies with more specific needs, more advanced needs, and we'll build out some paid packages. But I mean, for the majority of the poker affiliates, Google Analytics is going to be more than enough for what you need. And I mean, in terms of the specific tools that each person might need, we basically, we engage in the dialogue. We get where people are trying to go, and then we make custom suggestions around that. And we have basically 5 to 10 tools that we use on any given time, whether it be just keyword analysis or backlinking, or the list goes on. But it's really just we don't just say like, hey, go use these tools. It's really like, let's talk about what you're trying to accomplish, and then based on feedback, let's steer you in this direction. And so we try to keep it pretty dynamic, and that's served us well so far.
Okay. So tell us, what do you love most about this industry? And then secondly, what do you hate?
What I love most, I do love poker. I've played it my entire life, and I love the game. And so, that's definitely one of them. But for me, one of the biggest things really is the relationships, being able to really work together with, create a strategic partnership and create success together. It's so much more rewarding than, just chasing the short-term dollar and more hidden mind type tactics. So, that's a really, really an enjoyment for me. On the hate side, I'd say pretty unanimously hate poker bots, and it's also, I don't know, some of the scandals recently. It's really frustrating to deal with because it gives kind of a black eye to the industry when the majority of people are operating above board, and so that can be really frustrating. But even sometimes it's just hard not to get frustrated with the volatility that the gaming industry has. You look at who the biggest player's been over time. That's changed a handful of times just in the last few years. Being able to adjust to that. Granted, it's created a tremendous opportunity for us, and it's gotten us where we are today. So I'm not discrediting that, but I'm telling you, it's tough to roll the swing sometimes.
Yeah, absolutely. We all know that. Yeah. So, what do you think are the 3 most common mistakes that affiliates make, specifically poker affiliates, when working in this industry?
Yeah. Well, typically when we start to engage affiliates, they have a general idea of what they're trying to accomplish. but there's no defined really vision or strategy behind it. And it's really, I mean, it seems kind of insignificant at first conversation with most of them, well, I mean, I know what I want to do, why do I need to put it on paper? I mean, it's really imperative that you start there, and so that's one of the biggest mistakes is not having that. And the reason why it's so important is because, I mean, with how often things change in the industry, it's really easy to get off course. And I mean, if you define it up front and all of your efforts go towards achieving the vision and strategy that you outlined, then I mean, you're going to be you're having a much greater chance for success. And it also allows you for a conscious decision to change your strategy. If you take that conscious step, then it really makes your decisions much more grounded versus very easily that sky's falling, I'm going to sell everything I got and move on into another industry sort of thing. So I mean, that's the first one. One of the things that we see quite often too is that quite a few affiliates they don't come into a project with a budget. I want to build a website and I want to offer rate back to players here locally. What's your budget for that? Well, I don't really have one. I'll just cost what it costs. It's really important to assess that up front and kind of break it down into its components. How much on web development, how much in initial marketing, how much in ongoing expense. But just kind of just identifying the core components there, so that basically you can stay on point and things don't balloon out of control. It's very easy for it to happen, and when it does, if you don't have a defined budget, you have no way of knowing how well you're developing any given project. So I mean, it's pretty basic, but you'd be surprised at how often we run into that sort of I only need one sort of approach. And I guess the last one really would be a lack of the data-driven decision-making ongoing. Most people have analytics, but they're not really actively using it. And you don't really hear too much about conversion funnels and being actively assessing them and changing your calls to action, or A/B testing, or multivariate testing. That sort of thing, it's just not too prevalent in the poker affiliate industry. And I mean, granted, it does take a while to get that foundation there, but once you do, it makes it so easy to make decisions and make them quickly. And so, we really stress that. We really stress, focus on defining your KPIs for each of your marketing channels and for your website, and then measuring against them. And if things are working great, then do more of it. But if it's not, you've got to be willing to try something else.
Okay. So on that note, what's your advice to an affiliate looking to enter the online poker market today?
Well, in addition to working with PAS, that's advice number one, guaranteed. I mean, if you're an affiliate in another space and you're looking to get into the gaming industry or the poker industry, I mean, you gotta have some sort of crash course on the basics of this industry. It's just there's so many unique aspects to it that you don't see in other industries, even down to the commission models. I mean, not necessarily the models themselves, but the percentages that are available to affiliates in the gaming industry, typically much higher. I mean, lifetime commission models even. I mean, that allows for a lot of opportunity that affiliates in other industries are not used to. And so, one of the biggest things I recommend is really, talk to and work with somebody who has experience in poker, so you can get that, or in gaming, that you can get that understanding from, because it actually does affect your strategy quite a bit as an affiliate. And so, I mean, that's definitely, I would say something that would be the first piece of advice is understand that you're walking into something that is pretty domain specific. And if you can get that understanding initially, you're going to be much better off in the long run. And that's 1B. 1A is, come to PAS. We'll take care of you. So.
All right. Well, Herb, it's been really great to have you as our guest today. Appreciate all the insight. You guys have definitely built a great business in the poker vertical, and I think our guests have gotten great value. So if anyone's interested in contacting Herb or PAS at the end of this interview, please send an email to interviews@casinoaffiliateprograms.com, or just go to pokeraffiliatesolutions.com and get in touch with them directly. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned for future interviews with iGaming industry leaders.
Thanks, Warren.
Thank you.